Now, this video is something that a lot of you guys desperately need to help get organized when it comes to releasing new music. All too often, I see super talented music creators releasing new music without having any idea how to properly build out a successful release ecosystem. So I wanted to create a training video that you'll be able to use as sort of a checklist when it comes to releasing new projects. So take notes and stick around to the end of this video where I'm going to be sharing a bonus tip that you cannot afford not to be implementing. So let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Adam Ivy, sellmusic.com, here to help you go further, faster in your music career by sharing proven marketing techniques and strategies to help transform that passion for making music into a legitimate business that's going to provide you with freedom and fulfillment, two of the most important things in life in general. This one's going to be a fun one. All right, so what I want you guys to understand is that when you're getting ready to release new music, your music itself is the main hub as far as the product, but there are several key surrounding steps that we can be doing to ensure that our releases have the best chance of being heard and building that momentum once we've released them to the world, right? So I look at these things as an ecosystem or a supporting cast of actions. Now, the first thing to address is the distribution of your audio and visuals. Now, if you're planning on releasing to Spotify, for example, you'll have to submit your project for distribution at least a few days before it'll actually be live. And if you're wanting to submit your release to playlists or blogs, you'll want to schedule out the public release date by 2 to 4 weeks to make sure that you have time to actually reach those curators, but we're going to get into that later in this video. You can distribute your releases to all the major platforms using a service such as DistroKid, who I highly recommend. This video is not sponsored, but if you do want to save a nice percentage on your membership, just go to distrodiscount.com if you're into saving money. Anyway, when it comes to visuals, it's not necessary to have a full-blown music video done at the same time that you're submitting your music for distribution. However, it is important to have a game plan scheduled as far as releasing visuals in the form of photos and videos to really help support the release of your new music. Too many times I see people releasing music and then 8 months later they try to drop a music video for that release when the momentum is really come and gone and they've kind of missed that window of opportunity. So have your visuals ready on your release date or soon after, and that's all I'm saying. Speaking of visuals, it's super important to construct a promotional content calendar to have a clear plan of attack as far as marketing your new release on social media. This should include your pre-launch strategy all the way up to the launch of the actual release, then followed up with what I like to call a post-launch push. Doing this is going to build momentum and awareness around your new release while giving you the opportunity to connect with those fans and new followers across your social platforms of choice. Now, I say platforms of choice because I really don't believe in trying to build huge audiences on every platform unless you have a team working for you. Now, I usually suggest choosing 3 platforms that you're comfortable with and really focusing your energy on building those. Now, a great way to leverage your pre-launch is by funneling your audience over to your mailing list. Now, if you don't currently have a mailing list, I suggest starting with a service such as MailChimp, who have a pretty nice free membership that has lots of features to get you started. Now, you can build out a landing page directly through MailChimp or embed your mailing list sign-up form into your website for a little bit more integration and to be a little bit more fancy. But at this point, I think we have a problem. You might not have any idea how to start a mailing list or to get someone to sign up for that list. So what do we do in order to build that list? Well, you can offer an early viewing of your upcoming music video to anyone who is part of your community and signs up for your list. You could promote behind the scenes content for list members that you don't share with anyone else, early access and discounts to upcoming shows, etc. It's whatever you feel your audience will resonate with the most as a reason to join your list. From there, you just have to follow through on those offers. Integrity is everything. Now, email marketing is going to be a huge part of your success, so just practice and test out different ideas. Building a mailing list will give you direct access to your audience, which is really powerful. Now, I had mentioned earlier in the video that if you're planning on submitting your music to Spotify playlists and blogs, that it's a good idea to upload your releases a few weeks before you plan on going live to the public with them. Now, we're doing this for a couple main reasons. First and foremost, so many people are submitting their music to curators that it just takes them longer to review your music than it used to. We're not living in 2014 anymore. Now imagine your email being full of 500 plus songs a day and you're responsible for reviewing all of these. It's a full-time job and it takes them time. So with that being said, most blogs and playlists want access to your music before the public gets their hands on it. Think of new music as breaking news, right? Every network fights for the chance to break the juiciest story of the day before it becomes old news. Same goes for playlists and blogs featuring your music. Submitting your music to blogs and playlists can be done in several different ways, so there isn't just one step-by-step tutorial to follow, so you do have to do your due diligence. You can use a service such as SubmitHub or find curators' contact info directly using LinkedIn, for example. You can always submit using their submission form if they have one, and never doubt the power of a well-crafted email sent directly. One thing I want to throw into this process, guys, is making sure that your music is copyrighted and registered with a pro if you really believe in it and have the ambition for the release finding above average success long term. Now, doing this ensures that you're going to be protected and on track to receive your compensation if the song takes off and starts getting some radio spins, for example. Now, for clarification, you're still going to earn your streaming revenue without the song being registered to a pro or legally being registered and copyrighted with the office I'm referring to. But I'm talking about doing things upfront, maybe avoiding issues later, and just having that peace of mind that it's been registered, and if somebody steals it or if you're getting radio spins, that everything is kind of already in order. Now, for the record, if you've created and recorded that music, then you already own the copyright technically. You have copyright protection on your intellectual property, which is that music, but by submitting that to the Copyright Office, you're going to officially register it as copyrighted to you. Peace of mind. Also, a pro is a performance rights organization. The two that are most commonly discussed are ASCAP and BMI, in case you were confused when I referred to registering your music with a pro. All right, guys, now this is where most people drop the ball, so please pay attention. Most people spend all their time and resources working to release one song. They act as if that one song is their meal ticket, right? Their finish line. And that's typically not how it works. That's not reality. Once we have a release plotted out and scheduled, what we have to start doing is building out the framework for the follow-up release. You see this time and time again with huge artists, established artists, such as Ed Sheeran, Drake, Beyonce, 5 Seconds of Summer, more recently, just to name a few. Music is meant to be shared and enjoyed, but we're also responsible as the creator for providing more of it to our audience. I'm not saying like a factory, but just consistency. A successful launch will provide momentum, but without the follow-up material, we lose out on that momentum. And then we'll be starting off from scratch, essentially, every time that we want to build that excitement with our audience again. Here's the thing, guys. Doing everything last minute is a thing of the past, especially if you want to develop a sustainable, successful, long-term music-based brand and business. Now, I'm sure you've all heard this before. It's kind of cliche, but if you fail to plan, ultimately, you really do plan to fail. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the video, there is one little trick that you can implement to give yourself an unfair advantage when it comes to new releases, and that's studying your analytics as well as social trends to determine the best days to go live with your new releases. Now, you might already know this, but most major artists release their new songs on Fridays because the Billboard charts, or Billboard rather, does their tracking from Friday to Thursday. That's their week. So releasing new music on Fridays give those artists a full week to have their stats tracked. Now, this might also be a great strategy for you if you have a full-time job or if you're in school, so you can actually work over the weekend to be more active with your promotions. Now, on the other side of the coin, releasing a new single on, let's say, a Tuesday would give you less competition to promote against, since Friday is that typical day where all that new music drops. So keep those things in mind, as well as obviously knowing when upcoming holidays are or major social events that would be distracting to people, quite frankly. Now, when it comes to new music releases, these things can be incredibly important, can make a huge difference. Now, if you've made it this far in the video, I want to put it out there into the universe that your next release will be the best ever. So in the comments, I want you to write, my next release will be successful. Just like that. My next release will be successful. Let me know if you've liked this style of video. And then what I want you to do is click on this video to make sure that you build as much momentum as possible into the next year, into the following year, whenever you're watching this. Now, if you haven't yet, click that little subscribe button to subscribe to the channel, become part of the channel family, then smash that bell icon so you can be notified first anytime I upload a video just like this. As always, come follow me over on Instagram so we can connect. And until next time, I appreciate you watching.